Tonight, our region looking to the future in a bid to reduce greenhouse emissions. And Port Pirie businesses set to be connected to faster internet.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. Some of the world's top scientists have painted a grim future for our planet, warning climate change can't be ignored. And our region is in the firing line, with a local scientist saying we should prepare for more frequent wild weather.
It's said to be the most comprehensive climate change report ever produced. The IPCC's findings frightening.
This report presents something that is so dire that it paints a picture of a planet that is going into a state of collapse.
The report found Australia's temperature has climbed by 1.4 degrees since 1910, higher than the global average. We can expect more severe bushfires, increased flooding and more dust storms.
The science is saying that we're at a very dangerous and critical point in time.
Broken Hill scientist Anika Molesworth says Australia is well behind the pack.
We are one of the worst polluters in the world per capita, but we're also one of the countries who are doing the least to actually deal with the problem.
The Prime Minister addressed the report yesterday, but once again refused to commit to net zero emissions by 2050.
We need to focus on the technological breakthroughs that are necessary to change the world and how we operate.
Farmers feeling the effect of climate change, hoping technology can lessen their own impact.
Methane is a greenhouse gas that we can manage and capture the benefit from methane using innovative technologies like feed additives.
The beef industry committing to be carbon neutral by 2030, well ahead of the federal government's timeframe. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Eligible businesses in the Spencer Gulf can now receive additional COVID-19 grants through a joint federal-state government initiative. It will support those who have lost at least 30% in turnover since restrictions were introduced last month.
It's a measure trying to reduce the pressure on businesses in the Spencer Gulf. Cash grants of up to $3,000 now available for those who lost more than 30% in turnover since COVID restrictions were introduced. The federal member for Grey welcoming the much-needed cash splash.
Businesses, particularly that are affected by low density, restaurants, hotels, things like that, are still affected by the restrictions, even though we don't have strict lockdown in South Australia.
But for some, it's not enough. Owners of Whyala's Foreshore Motor Inn rely heavily on interstate visitors passing through the city. They say the grants would only cover a fraction of expenses.
Both state and federal government, they've certainly assisted in some way, but $3,000 just goes nowhere. It's not even a quarter of the wages from our property.
The member for Giles agrees, calling for more to be found.
Small businesses need more support, and the money available, the one-off $3,000, it's well, I guess it's better than nothing, but it's for a lot of small businesses, it's close to nothing.
In the meantime, we're being encouraged to support those industries struggling due to the pandemic.
Well, I sincerely hope the borders are open soon. I think that's the key to everything, and of course everyone getting vaccinated. That's my view. Everyone should think about everybody around them.
Mark Zeta, 7 Spencer Golf News.
And Port Pirie businesses will soon have cheaper and faster broadband, with the NBN announcing the establishment of a business fibre zone. The member for Grey says he's pleased the city will have the same access as other regional locations.
A broadband boost for local businesses.
This is a very good announcement for Port Pirie. 12 months ago, or around about that period, NBN announced that they were going to run out these business fibre zones across, I think it was 140 or so different areas in Australia, and 3 of them were in Grey.
The new business fibre zone will allow more than 700 Port Pirie businesses to access fibre. With speeds of up to 1 gigabit per second, it matches what's available in Adelaide. The member for Grace says the technology will provide opportunities that weren't previously possible.
Technology or the packages are bundled up, so you have as much download speed and capacity as you have upload speed and capacity.
Port Lincoln, Whyalla and Port Augusta were connected in the last round.
It's been in the three cities and the uptake, I understand, is strong.
In a statement, the Communications Minister Paul Fletcher says, with the country responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, investment in local communications infrastructure will ensure businesses can recover quickly.
I mean, they've got to go down the pathway of actually making the contact to NBN and saying, yeah, we'll sign up and get hooked up. But and yeah, I think they will be very happy with it.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Border bubbles continue to tighten for Broken Hill residents, with the New South Wales outbreak showing little sign of slowing. From 6 p.m. Friday, residents will need to apply for a permit to enter Victoria, instead of simply showing their licence. It comes after the state recorded another day of case numbers above 200. The crisis is also spreading west, with Dubbo entering a lockdown after a positive case was recorded. Anyone who has been in the Dubbo LGA since the 1st of August must follow that region's stay-at-home orders. A man has been reported for drink driving after being stopped at Peterborough. At about 7:15 on Monday night, police stopped a Holden sedan on Main Street, submitting the driver to a breath test. The driver, a 63-year-old local man, returning a positive reading of .156, 3 times the legal limit. He was issued an instant loss of licence and his vehicle was impounded. He will appear in the Peterborough Magistrates Court at a later date. Still to come tonight, UniHub Spencer Golf unveils its first ever student ambassador, and Port Augusta residents reminded to register their pets before the end of the month. Welcome back. Port Pirie UniHub has appointed one of their own as the campus's student ambassador. They will represent their peers by providing a student voice at community events, and will also be someone other students can approach.
A first for UniHub.
The Student Ambassador scholarships are new to UniHub this year.
The scholarship is different from focusing on academic achievement, instead acknowledging the leadership role students play within UniHub. Port Pirie student Sonia Murphy, now the campus's ambassador. Her job will be to provide a student voice and represent them in the community. Sonia is in her 2nd year of her social work degree with UniHub and is excited for the new opportunity.
To help students, because the UniHub has supported me, so I'd like to give my little bit back, and this is a way of encouraging other people to study if they want to.
The Student Ambassador Scholarship will be an annual award across all 3 UniHub campuses.
As our student numbers grow, it's really important that we have a really strong, clear connection between the students, and this role also helps to bring that student network together as well within UniHub, so quite a multifunctional role.
Port Pirie's Mayor among those supporting the new role.
And to have an ambassador that we'll actually put on our A-list to actually invite along when we're talking to kids and all that sort of stuff, it's just the bee's knees, because this UniHub is stopping our brain drain. Our kids are staying put and getting tertiary education.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The statewide lockdown is being blamed for the low amount of Port Augusta pet registrations recorded this year. Due at the end of this month, the City Council is reminding residents of their legal obligations. Reporter Edward McCarroll has more.
Halfway through the month of August, residents in Port Augusta are being reminded that their pet registrations are due.
The dog and cat management collect fees every August 31st, so they're due by the end of this month. So I encourage everybody, if you do have a pet and you need to do the registration, you start to think about doing that if you haven't already.
Mayor Bembo stressing the importance of the scheme, with South Australia's lockdown blamed for this year's slow uptake.
I think we've got 39%. We normally have about 50-90% this time of year, and I understand COVID and other things have caused that. But yeah, just be aware that has to be done by 31st of this month.
The income is used by the council to support animal management services, educate the community, and maintain public safety.
If you do lose a pet, please make sure that you notify the appropriate people. Otherwise, you will be expected to pay and register that animal.
Residents can register their animals through the Dogs and Cats online portal on the council's website. The site allows users to manage their payments, streamlining the process for councils, vets, and animal welfare agencies. Those without internet access or uncomfortable using a computer can still register their dog at the council office.
Meanwhile, businesses across the Spencer Gulf are encouraged to buy a cupcake in support of the RSPCA. With animal adoptions increasing since the pandemic started, the group hopes to raise awareness through food.
It's a sweet treat for a good cause. The RSPCA encouraging animal lovers to bake their favourite recipes and support their work in the community.
Bakers and food enthusiasts and animal enthusiasts from all around the country get together to raise money for our most vulnerable animals by baking up a storm.
Cupcake Day is next Monday, helping raise funds for their animal welfare programs. Volunteers are caring for more than 600 animals, including at their Whyalla and Port Lincoln bases. A majority of those needing ongoing veterinary care and behavioural support before being rehomed.
Unfortunately, we've still seen huge numbers of animals coming in, particularly with an extended kitten season this year. We've just got so many cats in our care that need looking after.
Cats and kittens are a focus this year, with a higher than usual amount being born this breeding season. Organisers also assuring their events will be COVID safe.
You could even have a shared lunch. Doesn't have to be sweet goods. You could bring in some nice hearty stews and soups, have a nice team bonding lunch, and just get people to make a donation by your fundraising page.
All the details and event resources are on the Cupcake Day website. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. Work begins to bring a new cancer screening machine to Port Augusta. And Broken Hill's Green Thumbs urged to take part in a gardening competition. South Australia's vaccination wastage rate is under the spotlight, with the state recording low numbers. SA Health recorded a rate of less than 1% for Pfizer vaccines and more than 2% for AstraZeneca. The figure is much lower than the World Health Organization's expected rate of up to 10%. Vaccine doses can be wasted due to dilution, expiration and syringe issues. Those eligible are once again being reminded to book an appointment. The campaign to get a new biopsy machine set up in Port Augusta has received a giant boost. The local Lions Club committing a 5-figure sum to purchase the equipment, which will be used in prostate cancer screenings.
A giant step forward for the cause. The Lions Club raising $45,000 to help the Male Bag Foundation buy a prostate cancer biopsy machine for Port Augusta.
They're putting in $45,000 and we've been asked to match that, so over the next 12 months we'll be collecting money to go towards the $45,000 that we've said that we will raise.
Prostate cancer remains the largest cause of death among men, with survival rates in regional communities well below the national average. Costing around $70,000, they say having one in the region will ensure men no longer need to travel to Adelaide.
It's fantastic for the Upper Spencer Gulf and the Flinders Ranges.
People that live there will be able to come to Port Augusta and be tested instead of going to Adelaide. So it's a fantastic thing.
Whyall's Prostate Support Group also lending their support. Further fundraising events are planned, including the famous Postie Bike Journey later this year.
We've got some excellent businesses that help support us, and I'll be going out and asking them to help support us in our endeavours to raise that $45,000.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
In just over an hour's time, eyes across Broken Hill will be glued to TV screens for the premiere of RFDS. The show was filmed entirely in the Far West and takes inspiration from real-life emergencies. It's set to showcase plenty of local talent, both in front and behind the camera, with the Palace Hotel also hosting a screening event. It's one of a growing number of productions filmed in the Silver City, with a Mad Max prequel to begin shooting next year. It takes special talent to turn outback sand into something beautiful, and now the hunt is on for Broken Hill's best garden. Green Thumbs told to get their patch up to scratch for the Arid Zone Garden competition.
Turning red dirt into pay dirt, colourful flowers and fresh veggies grown in desert sand.
It can be done. We produce from our red sand a really healthy soil that produces really good veggies.
With many locals turning to the garden to beat COVID fatigue, now is the time to show off your creation. Landcare Broken Hill launching its inaugural Arid Zone Garden Competition.
We're hoping that the winners will open their garden to the public so that other people will get ideas about how to garden in an arid zone.
There's a number of categories including Best Garden, Nature Strip, Vegetable Garden and Youth Garden. But it's not all about how the plants look.
Particularly because it is an arid zone, we want to draw out the skills of people who are great in water conservation.
And there's up to $100 in prize money for top spot. Entry forms are available from a number of local businesses. Many say they want to see the competition and plants grow bigger next year.
There's a huge amount of interest in having this sort of competition in Broken Hill.
Entrants have until the 1st of October to perfect their patch. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We have a look at the region's fuel prices. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. Fuel prices in Adelaide have soared to pre-pandemic levels, but that trend hasn't been reflected in our region. However, auto gas users will be in for a shock. Here's Lachlan Itter with this week's Fuel Watch.
There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason when it comes to fuel prices this week. It comes down to where you live and what your car runs off. If that's unleaded, it's a real mixed bag. Port Lincoln has a green arrow this week, prices down slightly to around $1.50 a litre. Port Pirie is the cheapest option, even with that 1.5 cent increase, it's $1.47 there. And for many parts, prices are pleasingly unchanged. $1.50 in Kadina, $1.53 in Whyalla, and $1.54 in Port Augusta. Unsurprisingly, Broken Hill is the most expensive in our region at $1.58. Over to diesel, where you've got a 50-50 chance of prices rising or staying the same. Whyalla is on the up, $1.48 a litre. Port Pirie and Kadina also up by around 1.5 cents to $1.46 a litre. For those stable areas, Broken Hill is still the most expensive. Port Augusta's also up there at $1.49 and Port Lincoln is looking pretty good at $1.46 a litre. Also $1.46 in Adelaide. Finally, to auto gas, prices are usually predictable and affordable, but certainly not this time around. Port Augusta, Port Pirie and Kadina are all now above $1 a litre. Port Augusta up by a whole 4 cents. Prices in Port Lincoln also up, sitting on 99 cents there. Drivers in Broken Hill paying more as well at 96 cents. Whyalla bucking the trend, sitting unchanged and the cheapest option. Now remember that these prices are the regional averages and do not reflect any one particular outlet. And if you do spot unleaded, diesel or auto gas cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
Turning to the weather now, and with Wednesday almost behind us, our attention is slowly turning to the weekend. With a sneak peek at what we can expect for the rest of the week, it's good evening to Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John, and good evening, everyone. A few showers about today, but let me tell you, we have some fine weather on the way. From 3 p.m. today, Port Augusta had a shower or two and reached 17 degrees. Broken Hill was windy and topped 25, and Woodner had showers and reached 16 degrees. Looking further out across the region, Whyalla had rain and was 17. Port Lincoln and Port Pirie were both 16. Kadina, Cleve and Coffin Bay all 15. Clare was 13. Cooper Pedy was partly cloudy and 19, and Adelaide reached 14 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, thick cloud crossing eastern South Australia with a trough and cold front is triggering rain and showers. Speckled cloud moving over the south in the wake of the front is bringing scattered showers, mostly clear in the west and north with dry winds under high pressure. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. North to northwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas 1 to 1.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell below below 1 metre. A short time ago, there was a marine wind warning and also a warning to sheep graziers in a number of areas. Port Lincoln, possible showers, 17 degrees tomorrow. Cleve, partly cloudy and 16. Woodner, 18 degrees. Whyalla, partly cloudy, also 18. Port Augusta, 19. Kadina, mostly sunny and 16 degrees. Port Pirie, cloudy and 17. Clare, partly cloudy and 13 degrees. And Broken Hill, sunny and 16 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, sunny for Cooper Pedy, partly cloudy for Broken Hill, Port Augusta, Woodner, Port Pirie, Kadina and Whyalla. Rain for Port Lincoln and Adelaide. Temperatures to be in the mid-teens to high 20s. Now for that look at that all-important weekend forecast, and no rain in sight on Saturday. Sunny for Cooper Pedy and Broken Hill, partly cloudy elsewhere, temperatures mainly in the high teens. While on Sunday, similar conditions forecast with slightly higher temperatures. Sunny for Cooper Pedy and Broken Hill, partly cloudy elsewhere, temperatures in the high teens to mid-20s. So John, finally we have a weekend with weather to look forward to, perfect winter conditions. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. See you later with an update. It's back to you.
Good stuff. Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.